Wangari Mathai, born on 1st April 1940 in Nyeri, Kenya, died on 25th September 2011 in Nairobi, in Kenya. Wangari Mathai said, "Human rights are not things that are put on the table, and that are put on the table for people to enjoy, Human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. These are things you fight for. These are things you fight for. These are things you fight for. And then you protect, and then you protect, and then you protect." Wangari Mathai was a renowned Kenyan social activist and the first African woman to win the Nobel Prize, Wangari Mathai said, "Human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. Human rights, the wives, are not things that are put on the husband's hands for him to enjoy. The children are not put in the hands of the parents for them to enjoy. The students are not things that are put on the teachers' hands for them to enjoy. The workers who work in the factories, they shouldn't think the factories are things that are put on their hands as a salary for them to enjoy. They are things you fight for. The wife is put into the hands of the husband. They are things that you fight for. Fight for the wife, fight for the girl, fight for the women's rights, fight for a growth, fight for a happiness. These are the things you fight for. Fight for your child, for her freedom, for her growth, for her expansion. Fight for the students, not just bookish knowledge. Fight for that they become masters. You create a mastership out of the child. You create a godly thing out of the child, a practical godly thing out of the child, 1,000 men warrior out of the child. These are the students you fight for. These are the students you fight for. And these are the wife you fight for. These are your family you fight for. These are joint family you fight for. And then you protect. Your protection is very important. Then you give a finishing touch. That means then you protect means till the last drop of your breath. You keep the love relationship, the respect, the deep intimate relationship with that particular person. Never to disconnect even for a second. Like the heart, the moment you disconnect even for a second, they say heart attack, that dead. And only then you are called a human being. Wangari Mathai, as a beneficiary of the Kennedy airlifts, she took an opportunity to study in the United States, earning a bachelor's degree at Mount St. Scholastica Benedictine College and a master's degree at the University of Pittsburgh. She then went on to become the first woman in East and Central Africa to earn a PhD at the University of Nairobi in Kenya, and PhD. In 1977, Mathai founded the Green Belt Movement, an environmental, non-government organized focused on planting of trees, environmental conservation and women's rights. In 1984, she was awarded the Rights Livelihood Award for converting the Kenyan ecological debate into mass action for reforestation, into reforestation. Mathai was an elected member of parliament, and served as Assistant Minister for Environmental and Natural Resources in the government of President Mwai Kibaki between January 2003 and November 2005. She was a honorary Counselor of the World Future Council. She was affiliated to professional bodies and received several awards. On Sunday, 25th September 2011, Mathai died of complications from ovarian cancer. Wangari Mathai, who won the Nobel Prize, said, "Human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. Human rights, your body right. The right, the body which has been presented to you in a plate by the God, by the nature. Yes, it happened are not things. Then you have to find out the rights of the right hand and the left hand and the hands and the legs and the body. Every part of the body to be exercised. People do not exercise. The only exercise they do is go to the hospital for the devil to puncture an injection into you. Stop it. Human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. No. No artificial. You have to make sure that every part of the body is used. When you know every part of the body is used, human rights are not things that are put on the table for people to enjoy. The day you do not exercise, then do not get married. You will not love your husband, you will not love your wife, you will not love your family. You are a devil, a dirty devil. A stinking devil. Come out of that. Human rights are not things that are put on the table of people to enjoy. Yes. No. Once you love your body, then you understand the rights of every part of your body. That every part of the body needs a freedom. You fought for freedom. You wanted freedom. You asked for freedom. You want the human rights. And what happened to your body's human rights? Unless you exercise, you massage them, you kiss them, you make them move, take them to the sunlight, take them to the water, swim and jump and dance and twist and turn. No music, no life. No dance, no life. No martial artist, no dance. No cooking, no life. The deep intimate relationship with the nature, if it is not there, the moment people lose the deep intimate relationship with the nature, then hospitals, doctors, nurses, devils, lying, cheating, robbing, knifing, suspicious, all becomes part and parcel of your life. And you think they are all very, very important and keep putting all the money into the bank, and you do not want to share with your relatives. You are thinking relatives are all bad. You do not want to relate. And they think the relate are the thieves. Relate thieves. No. When you cannot relate to your body, if you do not relate to it, you are also a thief. Relate thieves. You call relatives. Relate thieves. And you are a thief when you do not use every part of the body. If you cannot make it 1,000-man warrior. Human rights are not things that are put on the table of people to enjoy. Who said? Wangari, Mathai said, these are things you fight for. Yes, when you fight, not for destruction, you fight for give them the freedom to make them to enjoy that orgasmic experience of everything when you see. These are things you fight for, and then you protect. Protection. You keep protecting means in the sense you give them the freedom and guide them properly. How to dress, what to dress, when to eat, how to eat, what is for internal, what is for external. Then you connect it to your relatives. You relate to your relatives. The body is a relative. If you know that, then you relate to your husband, to your wife, to your children. Yes, children are not things for you to enjoy. They have to be allowed to be fought. And the fighting comes only when you're deep intimate relationship with the music, with the dance, with the martial art, swimming and jumping and dancing with the nature, and you embrace the tree hugging is also a tree therapy. You hug and embrace the sunlight and the wind, and when the rain comes, don't run inside. When you stand and embrace the rain, then you know internally dirt is coming out. You get cold and you get cough. That means you know you're dirty inside. You have to clean up. With the person who's cleaned up will never get a cold and a cough. When you're in the rain, you never fall sick. Wangari Mathai said human rights are not things. Wives are not things that are put on the table for husbands to enjoy. Wangari Mathai said children are not things that are put on the table for the parents to enjoy. Wangari Mathai said students are not things that are put on the table for the teachers to enjoy. They are things that you fight for the child every moment, to fight for the child, fight for the for the wife, once you understand the lady, a wife, you fight for her freedom, fight for her growth, fight for happiness. Same, the wife fights for the husband. And when together it happens, you will fight for your family, and that becomes a joint family, and then the family tree. Once you have the family tree, nobody ever can attach you. You are very close to the divine. You have already melted the nature. Then you and the nature are strong. That was Wangari Mathai said, human rights are not things that are put on the table for parents, for people to enjoy, These are things you fight for, and then you protect. This is my 187th short love story, short discussion.